So guys, we are going to discuss about antiarrhythmic drugs. These class of drugs are very important from NEET PG point of view. Okay, they love to ask question from this topic every year. They will give a question from this topic. So antiarrhythmic drugs are mainly classified into four different classes: class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, and then miscellaneous. Okay, class 1 is again divided into class 1A, class 1B, and class 1C, three types. Now you guys know about the action potential, how is it generated. This curve is generated is due to the sodium ion goes into the cell, so definitely is going to cause depolarization. Okay, again this curve, the first phase, this is called phase 0. Okay, this is called your phase 0 phase. Okay, and this is your phase 1, and this is phase 2, and this is your phase 3. This is your depolarization phase, and then phase 1, and then your repolarization. This is your repolarization phase. Okay, in this phase what happens, the sodium goes into the cell. In this phase potassium out and chloride is in, so the inside of the cell becomes negative. Again calcium ion will go into the cell, again the cell becomes positive, so this will balance. Actually phase 2 is just for balancing. Okay, first of all sodium goes into the cell, so it will cause positive, increase the positivity inside the cell. Then positive ion goes out of the cell and negative ion goes inside, so it will cause negativity. So this curve goes down like this. But this phase is in a plateau phase. Why? Because negativity is already here, is now calcium ion will enter. So there is some plateau phase. Again the potassium goes out of the cell, and this is a repolarization phase and phase 3. Okay, antiarrhythmic drugs basically they act on these channels, sodium channels and potassium channels and calcium channels. Okay, first one, class 1 is mainly sodium channel blocker. This class 1 is mainly sodium. You have to remember, like, class 1 is sodium channel blocker, but class 1A, 1B, and 1C are divided in such a way that first 1A is sodium channel blocking activity. At the same time, this is a potassium channel blocker also. Sodium channel blocking property and then potassium channel blocking property. And this is going to cause QT prolongation. Guys, just remember, the drug that cause potassium channel blocking, the drugs that have the potassium channel blocking property will also cause QT prolongation. Okay. Example are very, very important. Class 1A drug, three important drug, P, Q, and D. P for procainamide, Q for quinidine, and D for disopyramide. So these three drugs are very important, P, Q, and D. Procainamide, quinidine, and disopyramide. And then class 1B is sodium channel blocker. These all class 1 drugs are sodium channel blocker with some potassium blocking activity. Okay, class 1B is your sodium channel blocker with potassium channel opening activity. You see, this class 1B drug has got sodium blocking property. At the same time, these drugs will also have potassium channel opening property. So QT is either shortened or there will be no effect on QT. If they ask questions about the QT interval for the class 1B drugs, then definitely you have to say there is no effect, because sodium channel blocking property is potassium channel opening property. Ultimately no effect. Two drugs are very important, lidocaine and maxillotin. Lidocaine and maxillotin, class 1B drug. Okay. Again, class 1C drugs are sodium channel blocking with negligent potassium channel potassium channel blocking property, negligible. Okay, QT is variable or no effect. Class 1C drugs are very important. Class 1C drugs are flecainide, propafenone, and morisizin. Flecainide, propafenone, and morisizin. Then guys, class 2 drugs are nothing but the beta blockers. You are very easy to remember. Class 2 drugs are the beta blockers, propranolol and esmolol. Class 3 drugs are the potassium channel blocker. Since these drugs are potassium channel blocker, again QT is prolonged here. Potassium channel blockers are like amiodarone, dronedarone, dofetilide, sotalol, you have ibutylide and varnacolint. These are very important drugs. Amiodarone, they will be asking question on amiodarone, sotalol, ibutylide. These three are very important. They will ask question dofetilide, then sotalol, ibutylide. Okay, these are class 3 drugs. Now class 4 drugs are nothing but your CCB, calcium channel blockers, and these are verapamil, diltiazem. Again, miscellaneous drugs are adenosine, digoxin, and magnesium. Adenosine activate the adenosine receptors. Then digoxin will cause inhibition of the sodium potassium ATPase, and magnesium there is no unknown mechanism. Okay, so these are very important. I have already mentioned different examples. Okay, you just have to remember which phase does it act upon and what are the examples. Class 1A drugs are procainamide, quinidine, and disopyramide. Class 1B drugs are nothing but lidocaine and maxilitine. Class 1C drugs are the flecainamide, propafenone, and morisizin. Class 2 drugs are beta blockers, propranolol and the esmolol. Class 3 drugs are the potassium blocker, where amiodarone, dofetilide, ibutylide, sotalol, dronedarone, and varnacolin are important. Miscellaneous class 4 drugs are the calcium channel blockers, verapamil, diltiazem, and then another miscellaneous group of drugs. These are nothing but adenosine, digoxin, and your magnesium. Okay, thank you.